Donald Trump said that China pays the tariff.
He's just lying.
Trump will get them to do it because he's a businessman. Oh, defund Planned Parenthood. I'm a comedian. My name's Walter Masterson. Are you guys familiar with the Hyde Amendment? Trump is going to cut off all international funds.
I love that you're chasing them away.
Yeah. Fuck. You guys are wearing opinion shirts. You're getting an opinion back.
You cut the funding, it's going to lead to more infections. It's going to lead to more deaths within the next 4 years.
I'm in Washington, D.C. Trump's about to announce his tariffs plan, and I'm going to speak to a Democrat who thinks he knows more about business than Donald Trump. I'm with Congressman Ro Khanna of California.
Yeah, Silicon Valley.
Who pays the tariff?
We do. The American consumers do.
Donald Trump said that China pays the tariff.
Well, he's just lying.
Why would Trump lie?
Why would he tell the truth? He lies more often. He's saying that China is going to pay the tariff.
Yes.
The reality is that the American people are going to pay the tariff.
So Trump's plan is to lower all of our taxes, get rid of the federal government completely, and then all the money we lose from taxes, we get back by billing China.
That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
Why wouldn't China just replenish all of our lost tax income?
How are we going to get them to do that?
Trump will get them to do it because he's a businessman.
This is why he's crashing the economy. Maybe you taught him economics. His whole argument is if we put a tariff on Chinese products, right, that the Chinese product is going to cost more, and that's why people should buy American. That's what he's saying. And then he, in the same breath, says, well, no, China is going to pay the tariff. Well, if China paid the tariff, it's not going to cost more. Which one is it, Donald? Is it that it's going to cost more and Americans are going to then pick the American product?
Yeah.
Or is it...
Out of the love for their country.
But then that means that Americans are paying the tariff if it costs more.
But then we have
But
more
he said
domestic manufacturing.
How are they going to get all of the nuts, the screws, the bolts, the transmissions, the tires, all of the parts that go into a car? Most of those parts are in Mexico, in China. There's certain things we can produce in this country. We can produce more steel. We can produce more aluminum. Can we produce more avocados? Can we produce more tomatoes? Can we produce more steel? What do we want to, his vision is that you try to produce everything in America. You know, I taught economics for 4 years at Stanford, and I studied economics at University of Chicago, not exactly Bernie Sanders School of Economics. This is like the heartbed of conservative thought. And every economist will tell you what's happening right now is what would be predicted. You put on massive tariffs on allies, consumer confidence down, the business uncertainty up, business investment down, stock market down, predictions of growth down. This is leading to stagflation. Donald Trump, he claims he's a genius and he's got economic policies that are actually destroying the economy. The last time we had a policy-induced recession, that means someone dumb enough to actually do policies that cause a recession, was in 1982, and that was Volcker. But then it was justified because we had high inflation. Since then, we've never had someone actually try to cause a recession through policy.
It's a good policy, though, because then his friends can short the market as it goes down, and then they can consolidate. That's just good business.
I've heard they're like, no, we're actually real geniuses. We want to cause a recession because then the Fed is going to cut interest rates and then we're going to boom. That's like going to your doctor and saying, can you make me sick so then I can take some antibiotics and I'll be even healthier after I have the medicine?
Well, RFK Jr. is going to ban antibiotics, so let's not worry too much about
Let's not give him any ideas. Maybe the new RFK mantra will be like their economic policy. Go to the doctor, get sick, ask for medicine. The medicine will make you healthier. That's really how their economic thinking is. We want to create a recession so that the Fed will lower interest rates so the economy will boom and be better.
And finally, and lastly, what are your thoughts on season 3 of White Lotus?
I don't watch White Lotus. Is it a good one?
Have you finished watching season 2 of Severance?
I have not yet. I finished Ted Lasso. That's one of my favorites.
I came here to talk about White Lotus and Severance, and
all I can,
when we're just talking about tariffs, this is, but that's not.
Honora. Yeah, Honora was great. Here was, in my view, the basic point of Honora, which is it's not just sex workers who are exploited. It's basically every worker who's exploited in these relationships. And that if you're a worker in any kind of thing, you basically are at the whims of people who are really rich and maybe dumber than you, but they get to dictate your life in really annoying ways. And now we've kind of got that in our government, right? We've got people who are rich and think they're the smartest thing since sliced bread, and they're dictating our lives in really annoying ways.
Wow. So Anora is kind of like a metaphor for Doge. I didn't think you'd circle it back around like that. Wow.
But
Amazing.
the whole thing of it, right? Because there's these scenes with the handlers for that rich Russian oligarch's kid, and he treats them as totally disposable, just like he treats the person doing sex work as disposable. And I think the commentary that the film's making is it's not just sex work; it's all work where these rich guys think that you have no dignity, that you're disposable.
Billionaires are treating us all like sex workers. There's a lot of praise for billionaires, and a lot of people are saying, what would we do without billionaires? What would we do without all this investment?
I got no problem with people building wealth. I represent Silicon Valley. It's got $12 trillion of value. I just think you can tax it so people have education and healthcare. How hard is that? I have a view that if you're a billionaire, go invest something in the country to make it better instead of offshoring jobs. And how many yachts do you really need?
Lastly, Cory Booker.
Heroic. Well, my cousin's texted me, finally, Democrats are speaking out. It's a national reaction. They want Democrats fighting.
What do you think went wrong with Chuck Schumer?
How much time do we have?
I will clear my entire afternoon if you want to shit talk Chuck Schumer.
You should see the writing on the wall. Read the room, Chuck. I mean,
You should see the writing on the wall. And I put writing on the wall of his building.
You did?
Yes. I went to
But
his...
legally.
Sure. Yeah, I put a poster on the wall of his building and on the corner of his building, all around his immediate address.
It's bad when I'm in rural California and people are asking me questions upset about Elon Musk, and the next person, not Donald Trump, but Chuck Schumer. You got a problem if in rural California they don't like you and they don't like Elon Musk.
You got a problem in rural California if they know who Chuck Schumer is.
That's a problem. Did you notice he was the first to congratulate Cory Booker?
I saw that, and he posted that on his Instagram.
Oh, did he? Give me Cory's moral clarity.
With another rep, Summer Lee, you introduced legislation to ban all super PACs.
It says that you can give money to a candidate. They're limited to $3,500 to a candidate. But you can't go spend millions of dollars to elect someone. No person should be able to spend millions of dollars to buy an election.
This bill that you're introducing is kind of biased against Elon and also AIPAC.
It's biased against any people who want to spend millions of dollars to distort the election. It bans people like Elon Musk from spending $250 million to go elect a president. It bans people on our side from spending millions of dollars on an election.
What do you think about Elon's plan to replace most of the federal workers with AI?
Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe AI would do a better job than he would in not cutting people's Social Security and Medicaid. That's probably the only job I would replace with AI. His.
Wait, are you guys with Planned Parenthood?
No. We're with Students for Life of America.
Oh, defund Planned Parenthood.
Yes, sir.
Oh, whoops. Oh, never mind. Okay, well, wait. Why don't you guys here for the Planned Parenthood versus South Carolina case?
Yes.
We were.
Well, wait. The thing is are you guys familiar with the Hyde Amendment? Yes.
What group are you with today?
I'm a comedian. My name's Walter Masterson. But yeah, so I'm pro women having bodily autonomy. So the Hyde Amendment that prohibits federal funds being used for abortion. So do you think Planned Parenthood is just lying?
In what sense?
Do you think they're lying when
It's international funding of global Planned Parenthood,
that's the global gag rule. So we're talking about the Hyde Amendment is for federal funds. What? Wait, you got to go? Wait, what? But wait, we're talking about the Hyde Amendment, global gag rule. Okay, well,
Sorry about that.
Sorry about
Have
that.
a good one.
Shame. I was going to school them on the global gag rule.
Just told them that you're with them. They were like all set to talk, and then they were like, "Oh, they gotta go."
Okay, no. The second I know, you're right. I should have just lied, and I've been more honest lately in saying, "Hey, I'm
Which
anti."
is good. I like that. Like I like the being upfront, but then They just were like, bye.
So the Hyde Amendment prohibits federal funds being used for abortion. So Planned Parenthood gets private funding to do that. Their attitude is, well, they're lying. And then when I mentioned the Hyde Amendment, they goes, well, there's international funds. I'm like, no, that's the global gag rule. The global gag rule is where basically the United States government will say, hey, countries will lose their healthcare funding if there's any type of abortion access, right? Like they will lose their entire, so that's what that guy was talking about. It's not just let the states decide, it's basically international countries don't get to decide. Global gag rule.
Walk a few steps up.
They just walked a few steps. So wait, I feel like they want to talk. So they said they have to go, but then they just walked down to the corner. So I don't know, maybe they want to talk more. Maybe that's them. I don't know. You see how they're dressed? I feel like they want me to talk to them more. They keep walking. I feel like they're kind of teasing me. They're kind of saying, hey, keep coming. The people that stand outside of Planned Parenthood and harass people getting health care, they're so shy now. Well, wait, who wants to talk about the global gag rule? The global gag rule, basically, Trump is going to cut off all international funds to any country if there is any abortion going on anywhere. 75% of Ethiopia's healthcare infrastructure is funded by the United States. So they would lose their entire infrastructure. Oh, you like it? Yeah, that's good. I love it.
I love that you're chasing them away.
Yeah, fuck. You guys are wearing opinion shirts. You're getting an opinion back. You're wearing a shirt that has an opinion, and I'm giving you my opinion. I'm not forcefully giving you my opinion, but it is an opinion, and it was solicited by your opinion. You guys are holding up signs that said defund Planned Parenthood. They keep walking. We've gone around the entire block now. It's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. We're running around the same block, right? We were just here. Wait, where'd they go now? Oh, they scattered to the wind. Are they hiding? Oh, okay. Okay, you know what? Good on them. Good on them. They vanished. Good for them. They're gonna hold up signs that say defund Planned Parenthood. You're wearing an opinion shirt. I'm gonna give you my opinion.
I mean, if you're gonna harass women seeking health care while they're getting health care,
Yeah,
then
these are the same
fair
people.
game.
Yeah, if you want to stand in front of Planned Parenthood and harass people going into Planned Parenthood, then I'm going to approach you with a microphone. Oh my God, the violent left. I know, they're worried about like books in school. Yeah, like a statue with an endless cum shot is totally fine.
I know, it's crazy. Like, it's pretty,
Like kids can just see an endless cum shot.
and like full on titties, and
It's like an endless
Penis.
back shot. You know. Yeah, just
drinking some,
yeah, just drinking cum.
and they're like spitting it out.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just like that fountain. It's like, oh yeah, the turtles are just like, here's an endless cum shot, bro.
And like he's spitting the cum back at her too.
Yeah,
Both of them, each
and they're
way.
they're snowballing it. Yeah, this is what kids are seeing. Yay! Yay! Fuck women! Yeah, fuck them!
We're counter-protesting the Planned Parenthood protest because women having health care is stupid.
Fuck the 19th Amendment!
Hey, do you think women should vote?
Yeah, for sure.
So why don't you want them to have health care?
Abortion's not healthcare.
Do you think that's all Planned Parenthood does?
It's majority of what
No,
Planned
it's
Parenthood-
not. That's a lie. Do you
Wait.
normally come out to protest things you've done zero research on?
Planned Parenthood does not provide healthcare.
Yes, it does.
Have you guys heard of the Hyde Amendment?
Yeah, and money is fungible, and so money that goes to Planned Parenthood, they can allocate directly towards abortion.
So you're claiming that they're just lying? This is a great way to defund women's health care. This case,
Wait, but
amazing.
How do you define healthcare?
Okay, but if you look at the statistics as well, it's like you're not actually funding healthcare because they don't.
2% of what Planned Parenthood does is abortion.
What's the other 98%? Tell me.
What happens when you go to a gynecologist and get it? So you tell me the other 98%.
You know, my doctor actually told me when I went to the gynecologist that none of the women's healthcare stuff I needed could ever be provided by Planned Parenthood because I didn't want to.
Why would your doctor tell you that? Was your doctor an anti-Planned Parenthood? Why would a doctor ever say this?
Why would a doctor?
Is your doctor political?
If you live in a marginalized community, if you don't have regular access to health care.
That's a great point. So actually, Planned Parenthood disproportionately kills.
No, actually, I love that. Wait, say the rest of it. Wait, I love this one. Tell me that talking point.
Planned Parenthood disproportionately ends the lives of Black and Latino babies. That's a fact. They're ending more lives, Black lives, than they are white lives.
Wait, you love this one, right?
No, because before we even talk about it, I don't think this guy knows what do you know what abortion is?
Yeah, it's ending the life of an unborn child. What is
a child?
A child is a human being that's in the womb. It can be out
that's
of
not
the womb
correct.
as well.
Yeah, a child's out of the womb.
Okay, so
you can laugh all you want. Hang on, ma'am. I'm talking to this guy. You can laugh all you want, but science defines a fetus and a child as two different things.
So
Are scientists
what
stupid?
does a fetus mean?
A fetus is in the womb. It's in utero.
A fetus is Latin
How many
for a
how many
child.
abortions happen under 15 weeks? What percentage?
I don't know, but most of them.
I know you don't know, but
most of them.
try to guess.
90,
what percentage?
I would say 99% of abortions.
That's a great fucking guess. 99% happen before. How many happen in the second and third trimester?
That would make less
1%.
than 1%. Yeah.
And of those 1%, how many of them are medically necessary?
I would say
100%, because you don't know. So the answer is 100%. So watch this. 100% of abortions that happen after 15 weeks are medically necessary. Prior to 15 weeks, they are not children. Stop. Let me finish. They are not children, as you keep proclaiming. 99% of abortions 15 weeks or sooner. If you're telling me that a fetus in utero at 15 weeks is a child, then you fundamentally don't understand science and shouldn't be part of this conversation.
Okay. Let me answer.
Yeah, let's go.
When you're saying that a fetus is not a child, can I ask you what is the most unique thing about you?
That I respect other people's health care.
Scientifically, what is the most unique thing about you as a human being?
Empathy.
No, scientifically.
So, scientifically, every individual person.
You can't, hang on, excuse me. You can't ask me an opinion-based question and then say scientifically. Because you cannot scientifically come to an opinion-based question.
Okay, so here's my question.
Okay.
If every individual human being on this entire planet has a unique DNA, unique DNA, is ending that life with the DNA, is that killing them?
No.
Life starts at conception. Do you disagree with that, or do you
I don't disagree. Life starts at conception.
Okay. So the pro-life argument advocates that when that life is formed, it's uniquely and distinctly created. It's never existed before, and it will never exist again. What we're advocating for is that life that is the exact same sort of life that me and her and you have, that is
Hold on, I'm gonna
worthy
go
of
find this
human
life.
rights.
Hold on.
So whether that's at conception, or whether that's at 15 weeks or 40 weeks.
So let me
wait. This life right here?
Yeah.
How many weeks of gestation are we at right now? Is this life right here worth taking away a woman's bodily autonomy? This right here?
Here's where it doesn't work. First of all, the overwhelming majority of women who are pregnant, they want to have their baby, right? But aside from miscarriages and other things, they want to have babies. You're treating abortion as if it's just secondary. I don't want to have a baby no more. So I'm not finished talking.
Abortion
so
like it's the only
watch
thing
this.
You care about.
No.
That's all.
Hang on. I'm going to
advocate for.
No, it's not.
400,000
Let me explain.
last year.
Let me explain. I can talk louder than you, or we can take turns. So what I'm saying is, pro-life movement, number one, does absolute fuck all to give children that are out of the womb health care. I'm not done talking. Health care. You don't make education equitable. You don't do anything for children out of the womb. And in fact, we know, you talk about scientifically we know that when you ban abortions, actually women's deaths go up. The women die more when abortions are banned. So you don't have any pro-life argument. All you're saying, the only thing you're advocating for is the simplest and easiest thing to advocate for in the world is a fetus in utero that you don't have to do anything for.
No, that's
called slacktivism.
Okay,
You're a slacktivist.
So you're saying more black people get abortions?
Yes. So I looked
Okay,
it up.
why is that, white lady? White lady, why do more black people get abortions? Because abortions are based on what? Lack of access to resources. Nope, because abortions disproportionately happen to impoverished people. Why are black people more impoverished than white people? Because of white supremacy. So thank you for pointing out that people that have been forced into poverty through systemic racism of the last 200 years are forced to abort their baby more because of the lack of resources to be able to raise a baby. And then you, as a white lady, use that as your talking point to take the health care away from those same women that are suffering in those same impoverished neighborhoods because you don't want to acknowledge the white supremacy behind it all. Go ahead.
Abortion is rooted in racism. It's inextricably tied to eugenics. Margaret Sanger.
I love the Margaret Sanger point. Margaret Sanger started Planned Parenthood. Early on, she was a eugenicist. Planned Parenthood has leaned into this and said, hey, she was a eugenicist. Her early views were very bigoted. Planned Parenthood did not offer abortions until 4 years after she was dead.
No, that's not true. She was the groundbreaking pioneer of abortion.
They didn't offer. Rights. When did they start offering abortions?
So abortions didn't happen when Margaret Sanger was alive. As a matter of fact, why did Margaret Sanger, what made her popular to begin with?
She would call it like birth control.
Birth control. Yeah, birth control.
So do you call abortion birth control?
Margaret Sanger had nothing to do with abortions, bro.
She had been dead for 4 years when they started doing abortion.
Being really selective in the facts you choose to highlight.
Let's talk about some facts. Can we talk about the fact that this entire Supreme Court case is about funding for things like pap smears, checking for breast cancer, that sort of thing, because no federal funds are used for abortions. You know that, right?
Yeah.
No, they confirmed they know the Hyde Amendment. Yeah.
Okay, you know the Hyde Amendment. So what's your issue with having women have pap smears? Do you hate women? Do you hate coochies?
They said that Planned Parenthood's lying.
Why do you go straight to they hate women?
Because you went straight to that. You came to me and said, "Do you not have empathy for women?" You said that to a woman, to my face.
Why did you accuse me?
I know I'm giving your energy back to you, baby. If you put it out in the world, expect to get it back.
Here's all I'm gonna.
What do you do for a living?
This argument. I'm a writer. This argument.
Oh no, sorry.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a lawyer, so I actually know the law. Unlike weirdos like you.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you a piece of advice. Good advocates don't lower themselves to ad hominem attacks. Ad hominem is.
I believe I brought up the facts of the case before I told you that you looked like a little fuckboy.
Can we go back to the facts?
Let's just walk away.
Yeah, you should. You should. Once again, Black Americans take care of Whitey like we need to.
Thank you. Appreciate that one.
And I knew that he was bringing up black people, which is why I was rude to him in the first place. They always jump to that. Why are you using ad hominems? Why are you using black people as tokens and talking about us in a dehumanizing manner? I find it very interesting that they think if you say something politely like, black people need to be saved by me because they don't have the ability to make decisions for their own body, that's somehow more rude than me saying you're a fuckboy. So I just go straight to you're a fuckboy because we don't need to do the pseudo-intellectual bullshit. If he really wants to talk about, helping black women and helping black families, he could talk about not cutting Medicaid, which 40% of pregnant people use, and a lot of black women use Medicaid to have safe and healthy pregnancies and births. So I don't know, maybe he should turn his energy over to that then if he cares so much about black babies and black women.
You're a lawyer. Yeah. Summarize this case for me.
Don't ask me that right now. My brain is fried.
Okay.
Really just want to take away Medicaid coverage for services provided at Planned Parenthood, which include healthcare services, pap smears, mammograms to check for breast cancer, STI testing, birth control, things that are not abortion. It has nothing to do with abortion.
And their basis is they keep saying again and again, well, they're secretly using federal and state funds for abortion, even though the Hyde Amendment specifically prohibits federal funds to be used for abortion. Their argument that they just gave was they're lying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they're collectively lying.
They're just collectively lying, making it up as if they don't keep excellent records, as if you can't pull financial records and see exactly where the money is going. So they're just falsely accusing Planned Parenthood of using funds in a way that they're not supposed to when they absolutely are not. They are using those funds to help women with health care, to help people with uteruses with health care, including just basic stuff to make sure you don't have like ovarian cancer. So you don't have cysts, so you're not dealing with endometriosis and being in pain every day. I just feel like giving people with uteruses that humanity and letting them be able to get through life healthy. I don't know. I'm personally for it.
You're weird like that.
Yeah, I'm weird like that, I guess. I just think, why not? Why not give people health care? I don't know. Maybe that's the Jesus lover in me. I'm all about giving people what they need.
It's about giving people what they need. What do you have to say about Planned Parenthood?
I was on the board of Planned Parenthood in Marmonte for 5 years before coming to Congress. They provide basically women with health care.
A lot of people would say, well, abortion, that's not health care.
Well, it is health care, but the abortion that they provide comes from private money. They don't take a dime of federal money for that. Now, they do take federal money to make sure that people can get a gynecological exam so they can get pre-cancer screening, so they can figure out that folks don't get breast cancer. There are a lot of health services that they provide. You want to cut all that funding?
Yeah, because secretly they're giving abortions.
They're not
if we-
secretly giving abortions, they're publicly giving abortions, but they get that money from the private sector.
So they're publicly giving abortions with private money, not federal money.
No federal money, not a dime of it. And that you can audit them. They have been audited. It's all private money for abortions. It's like less than 2% of the healthcare they do. And they provide healthcare for a lot of women who are low income and wouldn't get healthcare in this country because we don't have Medicare for all. We don't have universal healthcare. So they go to these Planned Parenthoods to get basic healthcare checks.
I noticed that. Like
So
Wait,
good.
natural nail
my
alert.
hands ashy though. But
They're so pretty. Like
just
mine
grow
are
like
all
that.
gross. I didn't even show them. I was just staring at your nails the entire time. I was like, fuck. I need to know what is the
You're
secret.
staring right. You're staring. All she can do is stare at your nails.
Biotin oil.
Thank
You
you.
can use
Thank
biotin
you for
oil
your
though.
What did you say?
Biotin oil.
How is Trump's cuts affecting HIV treatment?
A lot of us use the Ryan White program, which was developed by, I believe, President Clinton. Don't quote me on that. But how a lot of us live, we get food. We can able to get food. We're able to get housing, mental health. A lot of it, me included, would not be here today. I would not have made it through the pandemic if it was not for the Ryan White program.
Right now, I take a pill every day. I am at risk of not being able to access that medicine that keeps me undetectable, that keeps my health together.
Keeps this medicine not only keeps you undetectable, you can't spread it.
As long as we maintain our medicine regimen, we cannot scientifically transmit the virus to you, which means we can have a healthy, full life, conceive children, carry children.
Cuts to these mean more people will be able to transmit HIV.
That means
Yes.
a higher rate of infection. That means we will go back to where we were in late 1990s, early 2000s. It's going to cause more of a deficit because people are going to die. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They're going to murderers. They're going to kill people.
If you cut the funding, it's going to lead to more infections. It's going to lead to more deaths within the next 4 years. You're going to see so many different deaths, so many different infections that we could have prevented, we could have stopped, we could treat.
Yeah.
We have all of the information, we have all of the cases.
There's no nuance.
It's nothing
proven.
new.
Yeah.
Everything has been proven. We don't need any more research. We don't need any more data.
Yeah.
We just need the funding and
Right.
for everybody to just come together. Like,
Come together,
we're
exactly.
still human.
Healthcare is not it's a human right. It's not. We deserve it. We deserve the right for life, liberty, and to be healthy.
And then, since we always talk about the children, like I was saying earlier, what happens when somebody is infected and they give birth to a child and that child is infected? How are they going to attend to that child's needs if you're cutting all the funding?